Hey everyone, I got a few minutes before my appointment starts. I figured I'd talk with you guys for a few more minutes. I wanted to address a few things. I know I'm getting to the table way late. I'm not a journalist or anything like that. And this is in regards to censorship. Um, and what should be a driving force, especially on the dockets of people um, with the ear of their own representatives. Um, this has been discussed, oh shit, long time back. We're talking, right now as it is like 2013, 2014, 2015, those things. But really been on the forefront of the minds for the past, 3 years. And that is the question of an internet bill of rights. So many of these platforms right now are touting themselves as platforms, and then censoring voices within it. Ergo, as Tim Pool has said, turning themselves into publishers. And they don't censor the speech of people that are in in the in group. It's in the people that have a differing a different opinion from the progressive mindset. I don't use the word liberal or conservative, and people who know me kind of know my politics and where I stand, who I support, anything like that. But I'm not going to tout that, because my opinion is just that. It's just my own personal opinion. But when I see the freedoms of just regular people being infringed upon, that's kind of a no-go zone for me. Period. I don't care if it's the left or right, anybody else doing it. But something needs to be addressed, and it needs to be brought up at the representative level in trying to formulate an internet bill of rights, because we need to be able to protect the rights of people on these platforms. There are hundreds of millions of people with Facebook accounts and Twitter accounts and accounts on Minds and YouTube's, on YouTube, any of these other video, social media, anything like that, any kind of these sites, and we need to be able to protect those people. If you want to describe yourself as being a platform, you need to adhere to things like platforms. So I'm just spitballing ideas as far as ways that they can go about these things. Trying to define a difference between a platform and a publisher, and the inherent responsibilities of those different things. Platforms, if you are a platform, that is a free speech zone, First Amendment zone. You should be free to say whatever you want to say, whether it's awful or absolutely pleasant, or condemnation of awful things said. And that's how discussion is made. That's how we open dialogue. But when you start out as if you start out as a platform, whatever's said on your platform, it shouldn't be the responsibility of the platform of what's going on. They would monitor things and report any calls for violence, any violations of what would be considered that First Amendment. And your First Amendment rights, everyone knows that your rights end where another person's begin. And calls to violence are definitely where you start infringing your rights to assemble, your rights to free speech, when you're starting to infringe on somebody else's. So that I would expect a platform to be able to monitor that and take heed and offer warnings like, hey, you're not going to be able to use this platform if you continue to try and infringe on the free speech of others. Now, when you become a publisher, you are condoning everybody on your site. You're condoning everybody's speech on there, even calls to violence. So I think ways that they could clearly delineate between a platform and a publisher would be the responsibility of the platform or the publisher. The publisher has absolute responsibility of whoever posts on their site and whatever is being posted on their site, because they're able to censor within that those publications. A platform is not going to be held responsible of what's being said on their site. You know, the only thing they can do is document and monitor and report any calls for violence. Also, the Project Veritas videos and whistleblowers that going on with Google, really, Google needs to be broken up. It's gained too much power, and this is and the power to stop monopolies has always been one of the ones that has been fervent in the United States. When somebody gets too much power and they're able to control how the nation operates, when they start rivaling the power of the country itself, deciding who is elected, who gets a voice in the dialogue of the United States, that's when you realize, like, you've got too much power. We got to break it up, because Google and YouTube and all the Silicon Valley tech giants, they're really pushing the line and overstepping the line. And when a whistleblower comes up and says, all right, well, Google stepped out of line, they're acting like a techno dictatorship in regards to information that gets to be posted, or with people that are going to have a voice on YouTube. When Google says, well, these people can't talk anymore because they spoke out against us, that is that's not democratic. That's a tech oligarchy. When the heads of YouTube and Google are actively censoring whistleblowers, this should not happen. It should not happen at all. So, breaking it up into individual companies, not allowing them to have that kind of conglomeration, and then also making sure that they clearly demonstrate, or actually clearly say, it's like, are you a publisher or are you a platform? Because if you claim to say, hey, we're going to remove this because of XXX, and it's not a violation of the First Amendment, then the platform then loses its platform status. It becomes a publisher, and thereby becomes responsible for every post that goes on its site. Or are they going to loosen the reins and allow all voices to be able to be heard? I know this is just random shit that's going on in my head. I watch enough videos and read enough into the what's going on that I feel like I got some skin in the game on this one. I want to be able to speak out, talk, be able to say my own opinions on this, and we're quickly approaching a position where guys like me aren't going to be able to talk on this if we have the wrong opinion. The President Trumps and the representatives and these progressive movie actors and these essentially functional blue check marks of the Twitterverse, they're going to be able to have and say whatever the hell they want. I mean, got regular guys like me who've got 5 fucking followers on Twitter, 300 friends on Facebook, or maybe a handful of views on YouTube. They're gonna say, fuck this guy. He doesn't have the right opinions. He doesn't get a voice. But all because we hold the wrong politics. So, I don't know. Something needs to be done. Because, in the Bill of Rights, a lot of the endings of these things it finishes with the words, that shall not be infringed upon. And whether it's from an individual or from a company or a politician, government, anything like that, it shall not be infringed upon. So, I don't know. We got to get this. I hate using the word collectively because that sounds so fucking communist. But as a people of this nation and the foundations that it was built upon, we gotta get our shit together and make up our mind on what kind of country we're going to be. Are we going to be the ones that our forefathers intended? The bastion of freedom? Or are we going to continue to give the government more and more power until we got no power left? I don't know. But somebody's got to get their shit together. Head off to the appointment. Talk to you guys later.